Leaving Theodore Roosevelt National Park, we're headed south to Wyoming and South Dakota to see some big rocks, or more precisely, Devil's Tower and Mount Rushmore. We were hoping to climb this towering butte, but June is a voluntary climbing closure to respect Native American cultural and ceremonial values, so we just admired the view. Needles Highway was a perfect excuse to take the motorcycle for a spin, and gave us the flexibility to stop at pull-offs the van would not have managed as easily. Here in Custer State Park, we're headed up to a peak known as Little Devil's Tower. Personally, I don't think it looks anything like the real Devil's Tower, but the views were still spectacular, and we found these clusters of ladybugs at the summit. I would have been nervous about taking our van through the eye of the needle, but this ProMaster in front of us breezed right through. This is what we really came to Custer State Park to see, the wildlife. These weren't the only buffalo we saw here, but it was the biggest herd. Our parking spot for the night was just behind Mount Rushmore in the Black Hills National Forest, and conveniently located next to some great climbing. This is a 2-pitch 5/8 sport route called Waves for the curvy rock fins that serve as handholds. You top out on the highest granite spire in the area, so the views are amazing. When we got to the top, we were now able to see storm clouds rolling in from the west that had previously been hidden from our view by the large rock formation we were climbing. We set up the rappel as quickly as we could while still being safe, just as thunder started to rumble in the distance. Now you, dear viewer, will immediately notice Emily's hair standing on end, but I'm still too focused on the rappel setup to notice that. Emily, our hands stick. Just rappel as fast as you can. I free-climbed off the summit of this formation and jumped across to a nearby lower spire in the hopes of not taking a direct hit if lightning were to strike the top. When the adrenaline faded, however, I found myself alone 200 feet off the ground with no way to get down. Thankfully, some climbers nearby were willing to belay Emily up to rescue me, and we both got to the ground safely by God's grace. After this morning's fiasco, this is our second attempt to rescue my shoes, which were left undone.
Third attempt. Well, second rescue attempt.
Second rescue
Third
attempt.
time climbing the same.
This look of disdain tells you everything you need to know about Emily's thoughts on this shoe retrieval mission. But we did eventually reach the summit again, grab the shoes I left during the lightning scare, and get back down before any new storms could sneak up on us. And now we're headed west to the Grand Tetons National Park to summit the Grand Teton itself. I love our MSR gravity filter because there are no moving parts, no tedious maintenance or cleaning to do, and gravity does the work for you. The marked trail disappears here, so it's up to you to find a route through the boulder fields and snowpack.
fixed rope we're heading to.
It began sleeting as we reached camp, which made tent setup a bit of a challenge as we tried to keep the tent dry under the rainfly during assembly.
We are headed up.
Without our full packs, we gained elevation much more quickly and began to really enjoy scrambling through elements like this Eye of the Needle.
That should be the upper saddle there.
The views from the summit were breathtaking, and we enjoyed chatting with a few other pairs of climbers who had summited via other routes. This is the second of 2 rappels that drop you back down to the upper saddle.
Turns out route finding on the way down is not any easier than on the way up.
With our full packs on again, and the added fatigue of summiting that morning, the trek back down the mountain became a brutal trudge. We barely stopped to admire this herd of elk, because all we could think about was getting back to the van and taking these heavy packs off.